What's up, dudes? So, there's a few websites that exist on the internet that I like to frequent a lot. One of them being the ArchWiki, another one being DistroWatch. I visit DistroWatch at least once a day just to see if there's anything new that pops up, anything interesting that I can read about, or, whatever. And obviously, I've been probably doing this for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, just looking at DistroWatch randomly. I probably look at it way more frequently now than I did when I first started looking at it, but I look at it a lot. And there's things you like kind of notice from time to time, you know what I mean? You see your page, you can look right here. They have like the page hit rankings for distributions, and it's actually funny because if you look all the ways down here, Arch is like number 64, which is insane. But there's logic behind why um it's so low. Because I feel like most people who know about Arch Linux aren't even going to waste their time looking at DistroWatch. They're just going to go right to archlinux.org and they're going to go to downloads and they're going to get their ISO, right? And then they probably got a tab with YouTube open and they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to do my little install with my Arch Linux and what have you," right? So that's probably the reason why it's at 64. But that's not necessarily what the video is about. The video is about MX Linux. And as you can see, their page hit ranking is down about 2,400 hits per month, or last 6 months or whether it's down, right? Now, one of the things about this site, because I've been watching it for a while, whenever there's a new release, this kind of page hit ranking thing shuffles around a little bit, right? Like now we had a release with Zorn. Zorn jumped up a few slots right here. You know what I mean? Ubuntu. I mean, Ubuntu is going to be a popular no matter what. Blah blah. But if you look very recently, within what? This is like probably within the last month or so. Yeah, 9/16. MX Linux has a release, right? I follow a lot of Linux YouTubers. I you know, I basically have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the world. I didn't even know that this release came out because literally nobody covered it. No, like, if you go, I guess we're gonna have to do, hold on, if you go to YouTube, let me open up a new window. Uh, you'll see that in comparison to other distros and content, MX Linux really doesn't have like a ton of content coming out about it all the time, right? Like most of their most popular videos are a couple years old. Like in this search, right? It's like, Matt's video or some of these other people. If I filter this, let's see, this month will be generous. There's some stuff, but it's all pretty much spread out. Now, if you did this with something like, I don't know, let's just say Silver Blue, right? Because Silver Blue is getting a little traction right now. Let's see, let's look at their month. So it's like, hold on, this might be a little weird. 2 months, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 days ago, 10 days ago. I guess this is kind of the same as MX. I guess Silver Blue is probably a bad example. Let's see. Let's see just how hardcore Ubuntu is smashing it right now on YouTube. All right. I guarantee there's like a bajillion of these. Yeah, 3 days, 3 weeks, 7 hours ago, right here. You go watch something. This guy's channel's great. Uh, yeah. So as you can see, there's like a lot more getting posted about them ones than there ever will be about MX Linux. And the thing about it is, I cover Linux. I know what it's like. when these YouTubers go, when you're sitting there and you're like, dang, it's been a few days since I put out a video. I gotta put out a video. This is one of the first places you go to. They're like, oh, what if there's a new distro out, right? Or what if there's a new release I can cover, or, whatever. So you would think that this would get hit up a lot more. Now, if we go over to this, right? So let's talk about some numbers here. This post is probably 3 years old. Yeah, updated 3 years ago. But I still think it's very relevant, and I'll prove my point in what I'm saying because I looked some other stuff up. I'll show you. Anyway, so 5.2K. What is this? It's like posts on Reddit, like in the subreddits, like 52K, and then like something like Arch is like 188K. Which is weird because MX, right? If you think about what it is, it's Debian, but it's like some like lighter version of Debian with a bunch of tweaks to it, like a ton of tweaks to it. In fact, it's almost not even like Debian, but it still functions as Debian. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of their own homebrew kind of software applications that come with the distro that are in it. There's some cool ones, like they have a respin thing or whatever it's called, where you can just you set your machine up the way that you like it, and then you can just cut an ISO that's exactly a copy of your machine. So like that's really cool. Like I'm not trashing on MX Linux per se for like what it's got going on. I'm just more kind of figuring out why the hell it's on the top of the page hit ranking on DistroWatch. Like it just makes no sense to me. I'll get a little bit more into that later, but as you can see, Arch Linux is basically crushing it. And that's what like the numbers are. So if Arch Linux is crushing it, right? Why oops. Why is it number 64? Because if you think about, okay, sure, a lot of people are foregoing even coming here. They go straight to the Arch site, or they're getting a link from somewhere, or maybe they even have just an Arch ISO backed up. Like I like every so often I just download a new one, but I keep an Arch ISO burned to a USB stick at all times. You know what I mean? Just in case something happens, I don't have to worry about going through burning it and X, Y, and Z. I can just grab that USB stick and slap it right into my machine, and I'm good to go. This shit though, like it's a little sus, because this, if you theoretically, should be up right, I would say right under Ubuntu. It should be number 6, where Manjaro is. To be completely honest, especially today with all the Hyperland install scripts and like just install scripts in general. You have stuff like Awesome Arch. You have stuff like I don't know. There's a bajillion of them. A lot of people just doing install script spins on minimal, like just a base Arch install, right? Which is very simple for a new user, because it's like, oh, I just go through the little Arch install script, and then when I get the command prompt, I just type my git clone, and then bang, I got Hyperdots, or I got Awesome Arch, or I have Savage OS, or I have Instant OS, or Larbs, or like all these different ones that have existed throughout the course of Linux, right? So the page hits would still be high, because people are still going to go and look, I don't know. So what I think is happening is MX is getting boosted artificially for a couple different reasons. They either got something fishy going on, right? And then on top of that, you have people clicking on this link constantly because it's the #1 link, because that's what human beings do. They're like, it's like when you buy something on Amazon, right? You look up braided USB cable, right? You're gonna pick the one with the most ratings, that is the highest up on the list. People actually they get into bidding wars over these slots in the search results, right? So I think it's a combination of people being lazy and just clicking on it, and then they try it, and then it's shit. And well, it's not shit, but it's a little more than what, like, just a bait. Okay, a new user could use it, but there's a lot of bells and whistles going on with it that might not necessarily be the best for a new user, right? Um. Yeah, and then you have people like me that sit here and click on it because we're like, why the fuck is this on the top of the page ranking? Yeah, so, and obviously I'm not the only person that has thought this way. If they got things on Quora and like Reddit talking about this, we go a little bit of a post down here. Uh, why is MX Linux so popular? It's more a user-friendly version. It's not even a more user-friendly version of Debian. And I'll explain why. You want a user version friendly thing of Debian? Just pick KDE or GNOME. It comes with all the network manager, all the other stuff that you would need built into it. Anything that a noob would need to walk into using Linux. Those two desktop environments, if you pick them on Debian, you will get that, right? So there's no point of saying that it's a more user friendly version. It's like fucking stupid. I know this is 5 years ago, but at the same time, like Debian was kind of still in the same spot that it is now 5 years ago with its installer, I should say. Um, yeah, like why is MX Linux so popular? So anyway, so if we look over here at the forums, this is the MX Linux forums, right? Uh, so I've poked around in here. If you come up here to active topics and you click on it, it's only 2 pages before it hits a shit that's like a couple months old, right? So if this is like getting so much page hits that it's getting on the top of fucking DistroWatch, right? Why is there forum a dead show? There's tumbleweeds going by right now as I'm looking at this forum, right? It's a little ridiculous. We come over here to Google Trends. This is Google Trends, MX Linux versus Arch Linux, right? Arch Linux is in the red, MX is in the blue. And you'll see, holy crap, I didn't even figure out the political implications of this. This is actually hilarious. Oh my goodness. My brain just melted for a second. Okay, so MX Linux has like a activist user base or whatever. Not necessarily on purpose. I've just seen a lot of those kind of types between the MX and Antics kind of communities. Anyway, um, yeah, as you see, Arch is slowly gaining popularity over time. This is over the past 5 years, right? While MX is just kind of, it hits its little peaks in the road, but it never really gains traction. And in fact, if we go in the past, like, let's say the past 30 days, maybe that's not a big enough sample. Let's see. Let's say the past year, past 12 months, right? Honestly, it's basically dipping out. What is it? This is 8, and what's this? 8, 7. Maybe it's getting like maybe one or two more clicks than the other one. Like, what's going on with this? Like, is this a scam sham? Are we getting sold one here, boys? Like, why is Arch Linux at 64? If you look at the Google trend results, right? Why is it at that? And I'll also say some things. I've poked around about this subject before about a year ago, and because I was writing a tech blog, and the tech blog didn't go anywhere, and I don't know, it felt kind of boring, so I stopped doing it. But yeah, this whole situation with they have people that are part of the DistroWatch team, like the devs, the people that work on the site. They're all friendly with the MX people. And there's a couple of things in there. I did a little OSINT work on a few people. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say things, but I did find a few furries. There's a few furries mixed in there. I will say that. But yeah, after doing all my OSINT stuff on those people, I kind of figured out, like, yeah, a few of these different people known each other for years and years and years. So are they just like basically letting this happen? Like, are they manipulating this and letting it happen? And at this point, since it hasn't in the past 5 years, gained any more or less popularity from doing this tactic, what's the point in putting the effort in? Or is this just a switch that's flipped on by distrowatch.com? So anyway, that's my little Linux mystery slash conspiracy video for today. Um, I don't mean to get like a little tinfoil hattie here, but there's definitely something going on here, and I would like to know. I would like to know why the hell. And okay, if these people are manipulating the page hit rankings, right? DistroWatch should wipe this off their site. They have no problem not covering all sorts of other stuff. Why wouldn't they just delete these guys for gaining the system? Huh? Anyways, that's the video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, you know what I'm saying? I'm be out. I'm gonna go back to like listening to classical music and reading weird stuff. Uh and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day, I guess, if I can get back to the things so I don't look weird. Alright, later.